Oh, really?
Yeah. We needed a bass player, and I was like, we had a friend of ours that didn't have a bass. So I went and bought his bass, and he just showed up. Oh, he's acoustic. Oh my God. Right.
Great show to see Prince. Not this one.
You know what he does like he does. I was a fan.
Hello, everybody.
See his many so I got that last bit.
There you go. Let's do this again. Hi, everybody.
Yes, it's great.
So we have two extraordinary artists here today, and you'll get to that. The artists will go over first. And I hope everybody has an enjoyable time. There's a lot of cameras up. I like that. In these days of the internet, it used to be, you know, you put a big ad in the magazine and tell everybody that that was what was going to happen, and everybody would pay attention to the ad. Now, if there's not a YouTube video, you can just forget it. It's over, right? Life has changed. I want to give everybody a quick story. Just too loud now. Give everybody a really quick story. About, not last year, but the year before, we did $40 million worth of business. And then last year, we did 50. Now, I'm still a year behind. So let's go 2 years ago, it was 40. Then 3 years ago, 40. Let's get this right. 2 years ago, 50. And this year, the end of 2018, we did $58 million worth of guitars. And what's extraordinary about that for me is that we're not trying to be some corporation. We're just guitar makers. We're just amp builders. We stick to our knitting. We stick to trying to provide you something that when it comes in the box, you're really excited to get it, and you don't want to sell it on eBay the next day. And the firemen came to me in my town and said, Paul, more and more, what's happening is that once the animals and the people are out, they're screaming for their PRSs, not the photographs. And I thought, oh God, we're doing our job. In other words, they were heirlooms for people, right? And so that was 15% growth last year. There's unheard of numbers going on. And so, you know, the press has had a huge impact on this because the press tells everybody what's going on in the world. And for me, you guys have done an extraordinary job helping us. And then I think it's been honest. I think what you've told the world is what you really think. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much for doing that. We have three goals for the company. So the first one is to build the best tools. So what tools do we build? We build guitars, we build basses, we build amplifiers, speaker cabinets. We're doing t-shirts, we're doing straps, we're doing cables, we're doing strings. But I'm gonna give you an example. Basses, there's lots of stuff we're doing. But let me give you an example of just what a goal would be for a guitar. We want it to stay in tune. If the guitar is not staying in tune, you can't play. We want it to play in tune. Some guitars are staying in tune, but they don't play in tune. You know, and that's a real difficult part. We want the instrument to sound musical. Sometimes you have something that's playing in tune, staying in tune, but it doesn't sound like music coming out of it. It's got kind of an ice picky thing to it. We could put lots of internet terms on what you hear about it, but in my world, it's either musical or it's not. It's got to have a powerful tone, and somehow it's got to be comfortable. Somehow the guitar has got to be like an old t-shirt you take out of your drawer, and when you put it on, you don't even know you put it on. That's the way the guitar has got to be. You put it on, and you play. And part of the reason these artists are here is because there's a symbiotic relationship between the artists and our company. They need tools to play. And we need their endorsement to say it's good so that the world would believe that we actually made something good. And, you know, so for me, it's a real honor. But the first goal, which I said, is we're trying to build the best tools, and we build a lot of different tools now. The second thing is that we're the third largest electric guitar company in America. But we don't act that way. We're just 330 people making guitars. We're not trying to build some brand. Although, I was told today by somebody very high up in the band management thing that we're so involved with our artists that we're trying to help them have a better career. And so in a way, there is some sort of beautiful thing going on between the guitar company and the artists. Very often these artists aren't making money on CD sales, and the only way they can make any money at all is to have a model and to get royalties from it. It's part of their income stream. And you know, that changed, but a lot of the artists are with us, they would never, ever, ever, ever play the guitar unless they loved it, unless they did the job for them. Because, you know, if you go to buy a toaster in a store, there's 8 toasters, 8 brands. You go to buy a CD, there's 4,500 brands. It's very competitive. The artist is going to use absolutely the best thing they can possibly use to make sure that they can do their job. And if there's a better tool, I better look out because they're going to start using it. And that's my job, to always stay up to date, always stay up to date, always stay up to date. The number three thing is a little odd, and that is that all these people here at PRS, these 330 people, are trying to turn nothing into something. And I never really understood it, but I was a kid in a bedroom with a dream to make guitars, and all these people kept joining me, you know, to do this thing. And we all work together, the artists, the dealers, the distributors, the sales teams, the manufacturing, the suppliers, our fans and customers, and the press. It's an extensive family that is all working to turn nothing into something. And one day I was at NAMM, and you hear people whisper things behind you when you walk by. I heard these people whispering, you know, Fender, Gibson, Ibanez, Gibson, Martin, Taylor, Fender, Gibson. And one day I was at a trade show, and somebody said, Fender, Gibson, PRS, and I go, shit, we're part of the fabric of the industry. And that was a special day for us. And that was summer NAMM when I was building the wall because it was. Thanks, so many people in this room. Thanks for coming. There's so many faces here. I named my kid after you guys. And you know, there's lots of people here. I really appreciate it. Kind of touched. Anyway, we make amps. We make J-Mods, Tom Mayer amps. We make David Grissom amps. We make Mark Tremonti amps. We have Archons. We have Sanzeras. Of all weird things, my band's playing in the Hilton after 10 years of not being allowed to play here. And we're going to be using these 20-watt Sanzera amps, and because you're not allowed to use over 20-watt amp, and the thing sounds like 200 watts, so please come and listen to it. So I want to give you an example of one of our guitars played through one of these amplifiers. Now there's a lot of people in the room, and this is supposedly a 15-watt amp, but it's not. He's going to take and play a private stock. Now, private stock is our custom shop. It's our limited runs. We have very specific customer-driven one-off guitars that we make. But what Brian here has in his hands is a private stock semi-hollow. I wanted him to play it through the Mark Tremonti MT15 clean channel. And I wanted you to hear what is a really it's actually an extraordinary professional grade piece of gear that's sold in the toy market in this lunchbox. I wanted you to hear the guitar with it. That's a good sounding amp. For way, way less than $1,000. Mac. And you know, that's part of what I'm talking about, trying to do these tools. We also have a thing in our business called Core, which is the core of our business. It's these guitars over here, the customs and the 408s and the Santana guitars and all kinds of different instruments that are really the core of what we do, our single cuts. And we've developed a new thing where we're actually able to tune the pickups. And there's a new guitar that we have here. There's SE version. Worst name for a guitar in the history of the guitar business. But the guitar sounds beautiful, and we have them in our core, and we also have them in SE, and we spent literally a year getting these pickups in this guitar right so that people buy the guitar that they're getting a guitar 2 or 3 times the value for the same kind of money. And it's as close to home as, and we say close to home because this is so close to what we're doing in Maryland, but it's not made in Maryland, and it's almost a third the cost for someone buying a guitar, and we're real pleased with it. Part of the problem was when we started redoing the Pulse guitar, I knew a lot of people couldn't afford them, and I wanted people to be able to get their hands on them, and that's part of what we're doing. So what Brian's got his hands now on is a McCarty 594 hollow body 2. Now we're doing more and more and more hollow body guitars where the thing has a chamber in it. And you've got this thing plugged into the J-Mon? Yep. Yeah, can you play that? So that's not the amp mic, that's just what is coming out of the amplifier. There's no trickery here. He's got no reverb on the amp. That's exactly what's happening. And to me, that's a recording tone, that's a touring tone, that's as good as you possibly would want. And so with these hollow things you're going to see with the S2s and with the CEs and with the SEs and the private stocks, we're doing more and more and more hollow guitars. We also have a Silver Sky that we're going to plug in a second, but I want to tell you a story. I was at Rainbow Guitars. You guys know where that is? Yeah. And there was a guy in the back slagging me bad. I don't know what I'm here. It suck. I can't even believe I'm in this building. I don't want to listen to this crap. He is slagging my ass in the back so bad. And there's an admiral in the Navy in the back having to listen to it while I'm doing my clinic. And I was talking about the sound of a 63 Strat bass pickup, and somebody challenged me to go pull Silver Sky off the wall and make that sound. So I pulled the guitar off the wall, and I plugged it in, and I said, well, this is what a 63 Strat sounds, and I played it, and the guy says, oh, shit. And he bought the guitar. And it was one of the best moments in my entire career. We were laughing about it today, the sales guy and I. It was like we couldn't even believe that he did it. But what he knew was what that old guitar sounded like. And he knew he didn't have one, and he wanted one, and he walked out with it. After slagging me so bad in the back, it was unbelievable. That said, can you show him what that tone was that we did? Texas on that, what happened? It's a big sound. It's not a thin, wheedly sound. It's got this huge tone. Anyway, we released 4 new colors of these guitars this week, and let's just say it's going quite well. And you guys have accepted this instrument into the market, and I don't know. I thought the slagging story was spectacular. We also are making a lot of SE acoustics, and we're going to plug one of those in. This is a new model for us, the A60. I just want you to play a couple notes on this thing. Can you do that? That's an SE acoustic. You kidding me? Remember this whole thing about trying to get everybody's money's worth? A guitar like that's $6 or $7 grand. This is 1/6 that cost. Not bad, huh? Brian, you doing good? You're making me look good, Brian. Everybody, Brian, you roll on it.
Yeah!
All right, so we have 2 artists here. One of them I'm a huge fan of the music. His name's Jocko, and he sings and plays guitar and fronts King Crimson. And I want to bring him up here now, if that's okay. Jocko, come on up. So can you get one of those guitars, Rich? You got one here? There's one in the back room. So this Schizoid guitar, what was the whole story? What was the whole deal?
From where? From me joining Crimson. I was a fan of Crimson when I was a kid. I saw Crimson when I was a kid, about 13, 1971, and so actually, you know, end up being in the group was mad, absolutely mad, like some mad childhood dream. And Gavin and the guys at PRS in England were happy to support me in getting a guitar, and they built this beautiful PRS with the cover of the first Crimson album. So that's created kind of interest wherever I played. It's always.
So how did you get us? How did you convince us to? That was one we made you. We thought we were only going to make one, and now we're making hundreds, right? So
yeah.
Well, what did you do? You called and said what?
I don't know what I said. I guess they just figured it might be of interest. I mean, it's an extraordinary looking thing.
Rich, is it tin when I ship it? Isn't that cool? So are you playing one of these every night?
Well, I'm playing the
bridge one.
yeah.
Well, maybe we should give you another.
Yeah. At the very least, yeah.
So, did you just ask for 2 or 10? How many did you just ask for?
Well, it's being recorded. There's evidence everywhere. You're not going to be able to back down.
I won't back down. So look, imagine from my point of view, having somebody of this caliber playing a PRS in that band, it's unbelievable. And you get to play this music, it's unbelievable for you. It's almost a dream come true, right?
Yeah.
And you got a chance to remix a couple of Bill Mumford's records last year?
Yeah, I kind of by accident I seem to have stumbled upon another career where I remixed a lot of records from that era, from the original multi-track. So I did, I've done some Jethro Tull, I did Brain Salad Surgery and Trilogy by Emerson, Lake and Palmer. And Bill Mumford asked me to remix the first 2 Bruford albums, which were wonderful because I've got Alan Holdsworth on. Playing is absolutely incredible. So, you know, again, that's like another mad child.
We're going to sell a ton of these shows. Thank you so much for coming and thanks for being a part of this.
Thanks very much.
Everybody, Jocko. So, Carlos Santana's here. It's an honor to have him. Maybe we can bring Carlos out. That would be amazing.
Yo, Cristina, páteme segundo. Come on, Albert.
Imagination is more important than knowledge. Albert Einstein.
Try. Cindy Blackman, Santana. She's playing drums and she's singing. You know, this is a beautiful time to be on this planet because we get to bring the opposite of ignorance, fear, and darkness. Some people think that we just play guitar or drums, but we actually bring a lot of light, a lot of hope, a lot of spiritual conviction, not to be confused with arrogance. Spiritual confidence and conviction is something that I get when I play these guitars. You know, when we hooked up, I immediately fell in love with his conviction, his imagination, that he could not compete with Gibson or Fender. And you know, he has the same sparkle in his eye, the same fire in his eye, and fire in his belly. It's wonderful to see these guitars on Saturday Night Live and all kinds of places, MTV, if they still play guitar. I'm trying to convince Paul to dress up like Uncle Sam, you know, and say, we need you, you know, like inducting you into the army of guitars. Because it's important that we turn it around. We got to get the youngsters to, there's a certain look you have in your eyes when you hear Stevie Ray for the first time, you know, or Jimi Hendrix, or Jeff Beck, or Clapton, you know, not just the guys from the other side of the river, but guys from over here too, you know, and I love to see young people for the first time because it assaults your senses, you know, your molecules, you get chills when you hit that note, and they go, oh, because it's not a guitar hero, it's not lame drums, it's real drums, it's real guitar. I'm always encouraged. So we wanted to say, you know, it's important also to have a sense of humor, especially at these times. So we say, if you buy this guitar, the universe will open up and flood you with abundance of possibilities, opportunities, blessings, miracles, and the Rolling Stones will open up for you. If you don't buy this guitar, you're going to be playing for chump change in a shopping mall, putting the hat on the street. So, you know, there's your choice in there. You know? But it all goes back to what I said before we played the song. Albert Einstein said, imagination is more important than knowledge. Every single guitar in here was conceived by this person's imagination. And they all came out of his mind's eye. And I'm so grateful and proud to be his partner because every time I pick up one of those guitars, you know, I mean, when we played this guitar and the other one, the twin one at the Super Bowl, people kept calling out. It was for a commercial in between, you know, and people were like, "Damn, what is that guitar?" You know. So we want to create a new frequency of enthusiasm because we need to get the youngsters to invest emotionally. I'm believing that they too can make a difference like Orianthe and Stevie Ray and yours truly. We are here with music to bring down all walls, all of them, and to make the table longer, not the wall taller. Musicians, we will never change because musicians believe in unity, harmony, healing, and the highest good for all mankind. Thank you for being here.
So, I want to tell you a quick story. You've been playing this gold guitar for a really long time now. And when we made it, we gilded it, which means you take these pieces of gold that are only 4 atoms thick and you lay it all over the entire guitar, and then you spray it so that, and that's why it's true gold underneath it. And then we did Cindy's drums the same way. And what this guitar that we're releasing is a version of that guitar for about 1/10 the price. And you didn't approve this thing until you loved it as a guitar, correct? So we're really proud of this thing, Carlos. We think it's going to be really well. It's an honor to have you here. Everybody, Carlos Santana. Thank you. Yes, get it that that's a worldwide household name, right? You go to Africa, and you say, you go to China, you know who you're talking about. You go to Russia, you know who you're talking about. So anywhere in the world, that name is familiar. So it was an honor to have you here. It was an honor here at Jacker here. Thank you so much for coming. We are done. Have a great show. Bye-bye.
That's Cindy. Wait a minute.
Of course there's a tripod on here. I'm not that tall. Anyway, so that wraps up the PRS press conference for Winter NAMM 2019. Hope you guys enjoyed the little impromptu live stream. If you did, please click the subscribe button, turn on the notifications because there's more NAMM coming. It's getting crowded in here. People are leaving. I'm out.